everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am going to be making a quick dinner tonight. I have been out most of the day and I came home, I'm a little tired, but I want to utilize some leftovers that have accumulated into the fridge over the past several days. So I am going to be making an onion fried rice with roasted pork. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to keep this pretty basic, but hopefully interesting. I do have some leftover rice. It's a little bit over a cup, I'm going to say. And I have some leftover roasted pork that I've sliced very thinly. However, you can also cube it or chop it up into sticks. However you want to do it is fine. I'm going to be using some garlic and ginger as well as a serrano pepper. However, the serrano is optional. I just happen to like a little bit of heat. I'm going to be using 3 types of onion or members of the onion family or garlic family. I have one rather large shallot and I'm going to be using half of an onion. This is a sweet onion, and I also had some leek in the fridge that I completely forgot about, so I still need to clean those, but I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to be adding some peas as well as an egg, and in the back I have some soy sauce. I do have a little bit of rice wine vinegar, and then I have in the cup what was the leftover juice from the pork. So I'm going to use that, and then if I need any like a little liquid, I will use some water, and I will be throwing in some peas at the end, and also using a little bit of spinach just because I have so much of it right now, and I will be garnishing with some chive. Okay, so this has got to be like the world's dirtiest leek. It's really muddy. I've gone ahead and prepped a container of water, and I'm gonna slice this, and I'm just gonna slice it into rings, maybe about a quarter of an inch thick or so. And I am going to be using both of them. And I'm just gonna let this set in the water. I've also put a pinch of salt in the water just to kind of help draw out the dirt. And I'm gonna just separate the rings, just, push through it so they kind of open up, and swish this around, and I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes as I chop my other onion. So I have that set off to the side. For my onion, because this is gonna be cooking for a while, I'm fine with just slicing it, and it'll cook down, caramelize, and get really nice and tasty. And for the shallot, if you want, you can go ahead and cut it in half, just so that you have an easier time slicing it. And same thing, maybe about a quarter of an inch or so. I'm using a large one, but you can use 2 small. And then I'm just going to go ahead and prepare my garlic and onion. I'm going to use a microplane for this, and in no specific order. I'm just going to grate my ginger and my garlic. I have about slightly over an inch piece of ginger and somewhat large clove of garlic. Along with this, I'm going to chop up my serrano and just also have it prepared and set aside. I could smell this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and use the whole thing. I'm not putting the seeds in, so you can if you want, but I'm not going to. So I've gone ahead and sliced it, and now I'll just cut it across. So this is nice because you'll also get flecks of green throughout the rice. FYI, don't drain your leek. You want to scoop it up and, you know, put it in a colander to kind of let the excess water come off. But if you drain it, you're just gonna redistribute all the sand and mud and dirt. I know this looks like a lot, but it is going to cook down. So these are my three oniony components. I have one large shallot, half of a medium onion, and some leek. To my pan, I've heated about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. If you don't have vegetable oil, you can use anything else that is pretty mild, like maybe grapeseed oil. And I'm gonna first start with my onion mixture. So I'm gonna drop all that. To this, I will be adding a pinch of salt. This will help it cook down and start to break down. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir this around. And if you feel that you need to add a little bit more oil, go ahead. But for right now, I'm just going to let this work because there's a lot of moisture in the pan too, so it needs to kind of cook down and evaporate. So this is about after 1 to 2 minutes. The onions are starting to release some of their liquid. So I'm gonna be stirring this around. You don't have to constantly stir it around. I have this over medium heat, and I'm probably gonna give it another minute, and then I'm gonna put a lid on it just so that they can cook down a bit more. So this is what you're looking for. You want them to be caramelized. If you want to add another pinch of salt, you can. I ended up putting a drizzle of soy sauce as well as the juice from the pork. Now that this is cooked down, I'm going to add my serrano pepper or chile, garlic, and ginger. Now when you've gotten this kind of incorporated and sauteed together, you should be able to smell the ginger and the garlic. I'm going to add a bit of the rice wine vinegar, maybe about a tablespoon or so. And then also, I'm going to add my rice. And then just kind of break this down into it and stir it up. You do want the rice to get heated through. I would stir it together first and then add some soy sauce and then stir it some more. You can also add some black pepper to this step, which I am going to be doing. The black pepper offers a different type of flavor than the serrano pepper. So I like to use different things. So I'm just going to get this stirred up. I'm going to add a little bit of hot water and cover this. I've kept this under the lid for about a minute. I made a well in the center. I'm going to add my egg. I have a tendency to season the egg as well, so just salt and pepper, and then go ahead and stir this around. It is going to obviously get incorporated with the rice, but you know, it's basically a scrambled egg. And then the rice will start to get crispy underneath, which I really like. I'm just using one egg. You're welcome to use an additional one. Like if you're not using the pork, like I have, go ahead and increase the egg. This is almost done. So I'm going to go ahead, put my pork in, and it just needs to heat through, as well as my peas. So actually I'm going to cover this again, maybe for like 30 seconds or a minute, and then toss it all together. Okay. So the idea here, I have a shallow bowl. I put some plain, just, washed spinach on the bottom. And then I'm going to spoon hot rice over this. And obviously it's still smoking. So it's going to help wilt down the spinach. And, the serrano pepper actually was not as spicy as I thought it would be. So I am going to add some, I'm going to add some chili garlic paste. And then top it with some chive to kind of echo the onion flavor in the rice. You can chop it. I'm going to just use kitchen shears, and you could put as much or as little as you want. If you want to use another herb, maybe cilantro would be nice too. So as I mentioned, the idea is to kind of get that spinach warmed up, and it was rather successful. However, if you feel like you just want to steam the spinach, that's fine too. And honestly, you don't even have to use spinach. I'm using it because I have it, but you can just eat the rice on its own. It already has a lot of vegetables. Between like the onion and the peas, I think you're good. So, I hope you decide to try it out, especially if you love onions as much as I do. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I will have it described down below in the description box. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification button so you can be notified when I have new videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.